Hey guys, this is One Smith, and this is the work in progress for my Wing Zero custom Verka. If you guys didn't watch some of the videos from last year, I pretty much try to walk through my progress of working on a painted kit. I kind of feel like that might give people some ideas. I know I've done that with Straight Up Primes content. Not that I'm trying to rip them off, but more just, hey, if you see someone work on their process, maybe you might get inspired to paint something. Or maybe if, you see me do my process, there might be something that you might have a similar idea, but you might be able to figure out how to do it better than me and have a better idea. So that's kind of like the idea of what I'm going for here. So when it comes to the Wing Zero Verka, it's a kit that is more than needed, but back in the summer, a lot of us were very underwhelmed by the announcement. A lot of us was hoping for the G-Self or Burning Gundam or just something a little different, something a little bit more radical. And they went with Wing Zero, which, yes, the original Master Grade did need a new kit because that Master Grade is now 16 pushing on 17 years old. But, Wing Zero, especially the Kotoki version, is very safe. It's very, oversaturated a little bit. It's kind of, I wouldn't say it's up there with Grandpa or Unicorn or Stray, where, you see it everywhere. But it's definitely one of those top 5 kits that Bandai's they know it's instantly going to print money because, there's a strong nostalgia for Wing because a lot of us that grew up with it. So it's just kind of underwhelming, but from what I've seen, it's kind of it was underwhelming at the announcement, but as we got closer, people got more excited, people got their hands on the kit, and it is a vast improvement over the original. And it does sing some better than the original. And it might be one of the best Master Grades that came out within the last 5 or so years. Personally, my best and my favorite Master Grade is Barbatos since I started this hobby in 2015. And I'm just talking Master Grade. Now, granted, I haven't built the EX Unicorn yet. But, I think Barbatos was just so innovative, new. It was something that people wanted since the announcement of the no grade. It fixed all the flaws of the no grade and then some, and possibly have prepped it for perfect grade. So there's definitely a lot there. But back to Wing Zero, it's just, they did redesign it a little bit. Obviously they added the Neo Bird mode from Glory of the Losers, which is very polarizing for me because it feels like it's trying to replace the Okawara version in so many different ways, which I kind of somewhat find offensive because I love the Okawara version or Proto Zero. I'll take Proto Zero too, but that Okawara version is my favorite Gundam. And, it kind of falls in line with the metal build or the metal composite Wing Zero that came out back in 2017. But obviously, that is a $300 metallic metal build with die-cast figure. There's not a lot, I feel like there's not a lot of overgap between the Gunpla community and the metal build community, because metal build comes with so much detail that most modern kits outside of maybe perfect grade can't really match, but they're trying their best here. And I think in a model kit aspect, they succeed in a lot of ways. So when it comes to painting, I don't really feel like I have to deviate too much from the original color set. Now, if you guys remember, I did a build of the Model Heart / Supernova Wing Zero back about 2 years ago. And pretty much my review is going to be kind of basing the fact, bouncing between the two and finding out which one did it best. Was a third-party company able to do it better than Bandai themselves, or was Bandai able to succeed and kind of quell the progressing and sometimes overwhelming amount of detail and innovation that the third-party community can come up with? Okay, so now is my Supernova Wing Zero, 2 years later. Still holding up pretty well. It was pretty solid. So what they did for this kit was combine the EW frame that originated from Wing Zero TV, and what they did was they used that frame that was used for the other four Gundams and used that as a basis to Wing Zero to add more stability and add more posability that wasn't in the original from 2004, but more so with the color scheme. They kind of are doing the same thing that Bandai was doing. So they have the two tones of blue that you see here, it's almost like it's like so subtle that you almost can't notice it, but there's two shades in the chest and in the waist and even the arms a little bit. And then it has like obviously the white and the off-white that we know. Or it's the same, and the Buster Rifle, they kind of did a cool thing where they added like a clear piece to the back of it that can hook onto the forearm, which Bandai did as well. And the Buster Rifle, you can see that the Buster Rifle has like two tones of gray and light gunmetal, and then the red right here. Yellow's yellow, and all the clear pieces came clear. And that's what I'm trying to go for. The main thing is like the wings, because the wings pretty much are what make or break this kit. And even with the wings, they went for the two-tone. So like in the bottom section, you can kind of see it's like actually three tones really, because there's like a regular white and off-white, and then the downright gray. I don't know if I want to quite replicate that, but it's kind of like that idea that I want to go for, to where I don't know if I can do three tones of white, but kind of giving that added detail to the wings, because if you just paint it all white, it's going to look pretty damn boring, to be honest. But you got to break it up with subtlety, and subtlety is not something I'm really good at. So that's kind of what the color scheme that we're going to aim for. So try to copy like that bridge between what's already in the box of the Wing Zero Verga and what Supernova did, and add my little twist to it, because I have a few ideas that I want to bring forth. Like, this is going to be possibly my first build using pre-shading, and I've been avoiding pre-shading because obviously if you see my paints, I don't do airbrush, and I most likely never will, because my apartment that I live in doesn't really accommodate that. So for the last couple weeks, I've been looking up alternative ways of pre-shading to add more detail. And I kind of found that if you get a piece of paper, you get a lead pencil, like just shave on it, like keep drawing in the same position, then get a Q-tip. You kind of get that same material that you can use for pre-shading and go around the part and do it in a way that isn't too overbearing, but just gets that perfect blend right. So we're going to try pre-shading for the first time as well. Alright, so this won't be every single paint that I will be using, but here's all the paint that came with my shipment. Tamiya gunmetal, of course, for the inner frame. Bought about 3 of those because that's going to be very necessary. Also, stocking, so you never know. I bought some brilliant blue here. It's for the off-color blue pieces in this kit. Now, I have some pure red left. This has been in my stocking for about a couple of years, and I haven't used it yet. I figured there's only so many red pieces on this kit, I might be able to finish this off. Or, worst case scenario, if I fuck up, I can always have 2 tones of red. So, pure red. And then, of course, old-fashioned bright red. If you could tell the difference. At least at the bottle, if we were looking straight at the bottle, not really noticeable. Yeah, just really subtle differences between the two. Pure red and bright red. So this is the normal blue. This is just straight up blue that we'll be using. I got a few leftover pure whites from old builds I might want to use. Then there's these two whites called base white, which I was able to find because I could not find pure white anywhere. And I'm trying to look at the difference between pure white and this base white. It's kind of like the same between the pure red and the bright red. Almost no difference, very subtle. Yellow, not that many pieces, so I don't need to go buck wild. This is just basically TS16 yellow. Now for some of the off-white colors, I will be using a tandem of two different types of paints here. I have this royal light gray, and then I have this bright white gray that I think, I don't know, I might end up using this to break up the wings, but the more lighter gray I think I would use to kind of use for the wings. Give that 3-tone that we saw with the Supernova. For the Buster Rifle, I'm going to be using mostly this German gray as a baseline for the body. Now for the barrel, I think I might go pick up some light gunmetal, but we'll see. Obviously, you'll need primer, so white primer. A little bit of gray. And then finally, for the clear pieces, I'm going to be trying doing something a little bit new, which will be inspired by French bread builds. I was watching his video about the reverse wash. So, as you guys know, the clear pieces came clear, which I know that's frustrating for some people, but you can understand where Bandai was going for, where they wanted people, you know, if they wanted to do a custom build, they didn't want them to get stuck with the green, because once you do green, you're SOL unless you do some real modification work, and that could take a lot of time and effort. So the clear pieces are clear, and then you got to paint it yourself or use the foil stickers. So obviously for my builds, I usually use my metallic green Gundam marker, but I'm going to be doing something a little different, because what I've been noticing is those clear green parts, whenever I use the marker, they don't really pop per se. They look clear green, but they don't pop like the foil stickers. So if you've seen French Bread builds this video on the reverse wash to make clear pieces pop, it's kind of like a layer on layer. So you start with, you know, primer, then you use semi-gloss black, then you use silver leaf, which I already have in spades here, and then finally you add a clear piece. Now to me it's kind of weird where they don't exactly have, they have like translucent blue, translucent red, yellow, orange, and then green the closest I could find. And this goes back to my Barbatos build. I attempted to use I had an idea to use the green eyes because it came green, but I didn't know how to spice it up because it didn't pop as well without the foil stickers, but it was already a basic green. So I had gotten this candy lime green, which is almost a translucent color. It has like a little bit of shine to it. I think what I'm going to do is, like, on top of the silver, use this here to add that extra pop to it. so it could shine. Then get some enamel base black paint for the eyes and use the reverse wash technique to get the eyes, because everyone's been kind of pushing me lately to move on from foil stickers at this point in my building hobby, and makes sense.